Good evening. Happy Friday. We just love these news dumps, don't we? They're just so
Yeah.
fun. Oh,
Jack, I know
I
you're
just love
psyched to be
them.
here right now.
They make me so happy to be going into a 2-year-old swim lesson, and then hear that Kentucky puts pen to paper with Ousmane N'Diaye, who popped up on our radar earlier in the week. We have been on top of this, but the execution down the stretch and closing and getting this across the finish line to an official announcement, not the way that we necessarily planned, but you know what? Such is life in the world of UK athletics right now. Jack Pilgrim here with Jacob Polachek. Excited to talk about Kentucky's new addition, who actually we've been big fans of all week long. We've been, on trying to stay on top of this, and there are 10,000 names that get thrown on in just the international scene that Kentucky gets connected with. But Ousmane N'Diaye was the one that really was picking up a lot of traction. Jacob, I believe Monday was the first time we started poking around with it, and then interestingly enough, alongside Braden Hawthorne and Zion Hawthorne's commitment slash returns to Kentucky, knowing that they are represented by the same agent, Jared Muka and XL Sports. We started hearing more and more about Ousmane. And then here we are on Friday afternoon, a commitment, a signature, put pen to paper, announced by UK Athletics that he is officially a Kentucky Wildcat. 6'11", Senegalese forward, played in the LBA, Italy's top league, averaged 10.2 points, 6.7 rebounds per game last year. Jacob, how in the world did we get to this point?
Yeah, well, I made some calls yesterday when things seemed to be heating up, and I was told that he'd been cleared academically and was eyeing a school, because you can't start going through the NCAA eligibility process until you sign with a school. And so I was told that he was pretty dialed in on a school. I heard Kentucky was involved, and I was trying to confirm that Kentucky was that school, as it turned out to be. And now I'm hearing Kentucky's working through that eligibility process with the NCAA. He's cleared academically, and then there's paperwork and steps to be made to get cleared from an NCAA standpoint. But there's confidence that he will be cleared. And the guy that Kentucky's getting is just a really talented stretch four with guard skills who can really shoot it. So it fills a need that we all know Kentucky needed.
We have had our eyes on this spot for a very long time. The power forward position, quite polarizing in Lexington right now. Once you lose Mo Diabate to LSU, Andrea Yelovich to Ohio State, just fans just dying to know who will be not just the starter, but the backup or the third string. Like, what is the deal with that position? Kentucky hosted James Madison's Justin McBride this week. There was a lot of traction with that one, and fans were like, man, I love this kid as the eighth man. But is he really the guy that they're penciling in at that starting power forward spot? Now here comes Ousmane N'Diaye. Is this a guy that we should be penciling in for that position? And then once we kind of figure out what the deal is with Justin McBride, is he the backup four? And where do things go from here? Are we now just one starting small forward away from having our first five?
Yeah, I think that's where we're at. I would pencil him in as the starting four unless someone pops onto their radar late, or there's a withdrawal from the draft that they can really push for. But right now, I would put him as the starting four. In talking to sources on McBride, obviously I had the McBride news a little bit before this, but now it makes a little bit more sense that McBride's people are going to be huddling up tonight to map out their next steps, and there are new schools trying to jump in the mix like crazy, which now makes a lot of sense given that Kentucky has what you would think would be their starting four.
Would Justin McBride be comfortable coming off the bench in that role again? He bounced around a couple different spots at Oklahoma State, Nevada, and before finding his groove at James Madison and emerging as a top option for that program. Would he be comfortable playing behind Ousmane N'Diaye?
It's hard to say right now because Kentucky was recruiting him as a starter. So this is somewhat of a pivot, but we'll have to see what kind of opportunities he gets. Like I said, there are new schools calling about Justin McBride every day, but he's not a guy that is a bona fide sure thing starter right now. He very well could start at the college level, but I think that Ousmane would have the lead in that starting job if he were to compete against McBride. So now it's just a shuffle of where do things stand. And I think that Kentucky has somewhat of an advantage given how Mark Pope uses his rotations, where even if McBride comes in as a backup, he's someone that could play significant minutes.
And my audio went out as soon as this video started playing, so I have no idea what you said for the last 20 seconds. So I'm enjoying these highlights. So can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah,
Are we good there? All right.
fun.
So I'm just gonna not be. I'm gonna either try to
Can you hear me?
or just act like I don't really care what you're saying on your end, and I'll just yap on mine. This is just a phenomenal setup. Really glad that we're able to do this at 6:29 on a Friday.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
you should have been
everybody
ready.
involved for making this happen. But there is a boom and bust factor with international prospects that everybody understands. We saw when Andrea Yelovich signed last year. There was just kind of this written expectation like, oh, yeah, well, he's polished. The footwork is where it needs to be. Shooting is a work in progress, but, man, he's just so good in so many areas that we can, by year's end, once he finds his footing, you can pencil him in as a starting four. He ended up doing that, but maybe not to the level a lot of fans expected. We have seen guys step in and be absolute superstars from the international route and become lottery picks, and there is that upside with Ousmane. Like, he is one of those guys that has been on the NBA scouts' radars for a long time. He did enter the NBA draft in 2023. So this is not a new development on the NBA side. He has been a head turner in that regard, but he would be in the NBA right now if that were, if he were ready for that moment. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on, that we've seen booms and busts with the international level, and it's not a guarantee. He will have to earn his spot at the power forward spot, but I do think, and I can't wait to get your feedback on this and not have any idea what you're saying. But I am excited about this addition. I'm intrigued, but cautiously optimistic about how things turn out. Just knowing that things can just be so high and so low with international prospects.
Yeah, and it's worth considering that that Jack can't hear me at all. It's also worth considering that he played in a better league than Andrea Yelovich played in before he came over to the United States. And as far as eligibility, we have a story now out on KSR Plus about where things stand as far as his eligibility, but we're looking at around 2 to 3 years, likely 2 years of eligibility with the potential for a third year if there's a waiver. But the 5 to 5 could very much change things as far as waivers. So we're looking at 2 years of eligibility. Did you get any
Definitely
of that? Definitely
got all of that. Where does Pope go from here as we know who's on campus this week, this edition? I know the 5 for 5 rule is something that Kentucky has been monitoring and something that everybody in college basketball is monitoring. As we start wrapping this thing up, where do you expect Pope to turn from here as he looks to wrap up this class?
I mean, Tyron Stokes is still on their radar, so they're still going all in on him. Jerome Morton is someone that got on campus today. Washington State guard. Obviously, Kentucky's already has Zoom Diallo and Alex Wilkins, but this would be for a backup role, and I know that he really loves Kentucky, so that's one to watch for. And then Gabe Dines is another one that's been on their radar, but it seems like he's trending towards Louisville. So now we're kind of seeing if there's going to be a reshuffling of the board, if some new names are going to pop up, and then what happens as far as draft decisions, who comes back, and who can they go after from that.
Well, we'll see. It's just the absolute worst. Can't wait for the next commitment to pop at 11:42 p.m. tonight. Or maybe we can wait till tomorrow night to make that happen. But it's big development. Very excited about this development. It's just good to get some good news to finally get across the finish line. I think fans were a little ravenous, little impatient here over the last couple of days. They kind of hit a standstill. So it's just good to have some good news to talk about and be excited for, to go with the additions of Zoom Diallo from Washington and obviously Alex Wilkins at Furman. So 3 new additions to go. Braden Hawthorne and Zion Hawthorne as well. Deciding to return to Kentucky, and the pieces are starting to come together. The vision is starting to become a little bit clearer. So one down, several more to go. Until next time, hopefully nothing ridiculous here in the next couple of hours. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off.
I want to thank all the people in the comments for listening to me, even though Jack won't listen to me. So I can cut him off anytime. He can't hear what I'm saying.
Sounds great to me. For Jack Pilgrim, for Jacob Polachek with KSR, I appreciate you guys joining us on this beautiful Friday evening edition of the Rapid Reaction. We'll see you next time. Go Cats.